What's going on, family? Stuck in traffic on my way home from work. I hope everyone had a great day today. I hope a lot of you aren't stuck in traffic as well. I just wanted to do a quick episode of Car Chronicles. It's been a long time since I've done one. But as we're closing up on this 2020 election cycle, I'm starting to notice a lot of division in the Democratic Party. Now, it's not just, the human element. There are a lot of bots out there kind of pushing false narratives and all that stuff, and that's his own issue that we have to deal with as a party and as a people. That we are now in an age of foreign actors trying to, discredit and, interfere in our election process here in America. We got enough of that going on with the voter suppression in this country. That's bad enough. And then you got people, willing to, like I said, outside actors willing to make things even worse by make things even worse by causing all this dissension and division, for their own benefit. Russia would love to continue to have Trump in office because he has been Putin's greatest ally. I don't think he could have hoped for too much more outside of like Trump giving him the codes to the nuclear weapons. He's pretty much done everything he's wanted him to do since, aside from that. So that in and of itself is a reason for these foreign actors to keep interfering in our election. And they're doing so, they did it in 2016, they did it in the midterms, and they're continuing to do so now, especially since, the government hasn't taken a lot of action under the direction of the Trump administration to combat this problem. So there's a lot of division that's being sown in the Democratic Party from outside forces, but also from inside forces. And what I mean by that is actual human people who can't understand someone disagreeing with them. And what I mean by that is, like, if I wanted to vote for Elizabeth Warren, and you're a Bernie supporter or a Kamala supporter or a Cory Booker supporter, why is it necessary for you to impugn my character, to shit all over the candidate that I choose just to elevate your candidate? Now, mind you, it's all the same Democratic Party. And at the end of the day, when the primary is said and done and the whoever wins the nomination, we all got to come together to get that person elected. Like, we can't go into the summer of 2020 after the nominee has been chosen. We can't go in there saying, well, this should have happened and that should have happened, and well, I'm not voting because of this, and I'm going to vote, for a third or fourth or fifth party. That's how we got Trump. Aside from Russian interference, all those people that jumped on the Jill Stein train or the Gary Johnson train for whatever their reasons, are part of the reason why we got into the mess we got into. And we don't need that this time. I mean, you have to be able to learn from the past. And it's not the distant past, it is the very recent past. So when you're out here like supporting your candidate, that's what you're supposed to do, that's fine. But we can't, this just, like I said, the human element can be fixed. the cyber element, that's a whole nother ball game. But this idea of, oh, you're not voting for Bernie, so you ain't shit, and the hell with you and your candidate. That's dumb. That's very closed-minded. And at the end of the day, we want someone who is worthy of the job, number one, but we got to get Trump out of there. And I feel like whoever the Democratic Party chooses, whoever the Democratic Party chooses is going to be worthy of the job. All the obviously Bernie is the main front runner, but you got Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Cory Booker, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, Kirsten Gillibrand. You have a wide variety of candidates, and all of them have qualifications one way or the other. So it's not like we're going to be putting a total scrub out there to run for president, i.e. Trump. Like, we're not going to do the Democratic version of Trump and throw like Michael Avenatti in there. No, we're not doing that. It's going to be someone who is qualified for the position, who we know could do the job. So we need to figure out a way to bring everyone together in this Democratic Party. Deal with the division that we can deal with. Like I said, there's the human element can be dealt with. The cyber element, I don't know. But if we can deal with the human part of it and the actual people that's out there causing the havoc, then we can focus on that cyber part. And on Twitter or on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you see something, you can report that as spam or a bot or whatever the case may be, and start to kind of get some of that stuff up out of there. And it's not going to work 100% because it seems like the attacks have evolved from 2016 to 2018 to 2020, but we can do the best we can. And that's all I'm saying is, like, there has to be a focus on picking the best candidate, number one, and getting Trump and his administration out of Washington, D.C. I think that's where the focus should be. It shouldn't be on all this infighting, which is what Trump wants to see, is what the Republican Party wants to see, is what Russia wants to see, is what, all of these any foreign actor that is contributing in some way, shape, or form to Trump staying in office, they're sitting back and just doing the Birdman thing, watching the Democratic Party fight each other over who's gonna lead the party in the 2020 election. So let the candidates run their races, and it's fine to critique the other candidates. No one is perfect. Every candidate on the Democratic side has their flaws, and not just like flaws like we all have flaws, but things they've said and done throughout their political career that can definitely be called into question, and should be. And they should be able to answer that question truthfully, honestly, and without, a bunch of political double talk. You know what I mean? Talking out both sides of their mouth. So we should be able to critique them. They should be able to handle the critique. But what is not going to help is their supporters not being able to handle the critique and disrespecting the other candidates and the other supporters. Because at the end of the day, our goal is the same. So, that's just what I wanted to kind of get off my chest on this episode of Car Chronicles. And, it was very political, but that's the world we're in. And if you're not paying attention to politics, I don't know what you're doing. You out here sleepwalking, and this is not the time to be sleepwalking. So hopefully we can get it together. You know, it's that election is going to be coming up before we know it. And if Trump wins the election, it's going to be too late. So it's already feeling like, with all the damage he has done, like it's too late, but it's not. After Bush's second term, when, you know, the country was headed toward a depression, we're in that Great Recession and things look pretty bleak. You know, you will never see me put on the cake for President Obama. I voted for him twice. I cried both times he was elected. There was some things that he did that I really liked and I appreciated. There was a lot of things he did that I didn't like. But one thing he did do was turn this country from the brink of, you know, implosion. And whether people want to admit that or not, his policies and the things he tried to do and the things he did do turned this country around. So I believe we can head in that direction again. We just got to get the right people in DC, and that's why I absolutely love AOC. She's a beast. She speaks her mind. She knows what she's talking about. When she screws up, she admits she screws up. She looks to learn, and she speaks for the people. And we need more people like that. When this new generation comes up, we need people like her and this new generation of progressives that are actually looking to push the country forward in a positive direction for the benefit of everyone, not just for a select few, not just for, you know, the ultra wealthy, or, you know, for the uber religious, or for whatever, you know, insert group here, for everybody. So we know we need people, more people like her, and a lot of these new, you know, freshman Democrats that got elected, you know, coming up and speaking truth to power. You know, Stacey Abrams. You know, we need Beto O'Rourke's. We need Andrew Gillum's. Like, even though they lost their races, they lit a fire. You know, it was a nationwide kind of influence, and that's the direction that we need to be headed in as a party. So, you know, I've taken up enough of y'all time. Anyone who watches, you know how, like I always say, I always appreciate, you know, people looking at my content and giving me feedback and stuff like that. So stay on the lookout for another episode of Car Chronicles, and also stay on the lookout for the podcast coming back. That is something that was really near and dear to me, and I want to get back into the swing of it. So look forward to that. And actually, the first episode, I'm not going to do any cliffhangers. I'm just going to let it out. The first episode of the podcast is going to be the most personal podcast that I've ever done. And that's because the first episode of the returning podcast, I should say, is going to be my journey from Christianity to atheism. So I think there's going to be a few people that's going to want to watch that and hear what I got to say. So be on the lookout for that, and any other episodes of Car Chronicles that I put out there. And thank y'all. I appreciate y'all, and everybody, like, keep your head up. I know it's hard. I know it's tough. This country has been, things have been messed up for the last couple years, but, you know, there's a chance, we have a chance coming up where we can right the ship and get it going in a good direction, not just in the near future, but period. So everybody just keep fighting the good fight, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it do what it do. So everyone have a good night, and I will see y'all later.